What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris, and I'm going to be bringing you a game from the Star Season 3. This is going to be between Na'Vi and Quantic, and as you see, the lineup's a little bit shifted up, but what happened is that for the Starlight, or Season 3, whatever, Star Series, whatever you want to call it, the games, I just logged on, and apparently they're all open now, and I heard good things about this one. I have not seen it, so hopefully everything that has been said will be accurate, and we'll be in for a very good game. This is between Team Quantic, who's very solid, or it used to be primarily American-based team, but now with these two standards, 1437 in Universe, it's not the case. I don't know what the current status is of Quantic. This was played, like, I don't know, like the maximum a week ago, so things might have changed by then, but Team Quantic, always a very solid team. Na'Vi, the epitome of solid, really, getting second place in the International 2, of course, getting first place in the first International. Going to be opening up with Nature's Prophet, and Quantic going to snatch up that Naga Siren as well as a Venomancer. Now, Na'Vi have played against Naga Siren many times in the International 2. They do know what to do to actually counter that hero. They have done it multiple times, but the question is it reliable? Are their counters, are the Na'Vi counters to Naga Siren reliable? And from what I've seen, it's kind of iffy. It's they don't really shut her down completely. It's just a really finicky counter that works, but it doesn't seem dependable. I mean, hopefully for their sake they prove me wrong. But Team Quantic, on the other hand, gonna go with that Naga Siren. We're gonna see if they want to pick up something like an Enigma. They already banned out the Darkseer, so they can't do that sweet little combo. They could still pick up Tidehunter, Enigma, stuff like that, unless, well, Na'Vi want to pick up the Tidehunter and TA, actually. So Tidehunter pick, going to give them a lot of team fight, but also, more importantly, going to deny the team fight to Team Quantic. Now, Quantic could still pick up the Enigma, which is something that Na'Vi have used to great effect against that Naga Siren. Just get a BKB on that guy, and then, well, you could counter Black Hole, and then all of the initiation is just swung right around. The Naga Siren ended up initiating for the other team. Na'Vi gonna go with that Templar Assassin pick, probably solo mid, and with that Nature's Prophet as well as Tidehunter. That will mean that their lanes are gonna need a little bit more support. They have yet to pick up that solid core support 5 farm slot pick, so they'll probably be looking to pick that up. Team Quantic does have that pick in the Venomancer, and they also have their large farming role with the Naga Siren. Gonna pick up the Beast, that is not a Beastmaster, Brewmaster. Gonna pick up the Brewmaster. So that is gonna give them a lot of front line. Also a pretty decent counter to the Tidehunter Ravage, since your pandas will be able to wreak havoc, even though everything else on the map is probably stunned. Pairing with the Naga Siren, Brewmaster will get a free initiation, so we can get a clap as well as a split off. Na'Vi kind of have to pick stuns to counter that. Stuns that move out pretty quickly. Would not be surprised at all to see a Shadow Shaman pick from Na'Vi. You get a little bit of pushing, but more importantly, get that instant cast Hex, so that they could actually have a reliable disable, because right now they are 100% disable-less. Well, I guess like 85%. They do have a Ravage, but that's not really a stun that you want to rely on. Quantic, they do have that net, which is a disable of sorts. For the purposes of this game, could be counted as a full stun. They don't have any channeling, and it will cancel out anyway. So, yeah, net will work. But both teams need to pick up some crowd control. For Na'Vi, it will be in the form of a support hero. For Quantic, it could be in the form of a support hero. But they're probably going to look towards something more like an Enchantress, I feel. Because they do have the Venomancer to babysit the Siren, and then Brewmaster to solo the mid lane. Ban is actually going to be the Lich, prevent a very deadly dual or possibly tri-lane. Venomancer, Lich, as well as Siren has a lot of kill potential with that slow, well, the double slow, as well as the net, and the Enchantress going to get banned out. Shadow Shaman is, in fact, the pickup for Na'Vi. Can be played support by Ars Art. Unless, I don't know who DK Phobos is, but he is standing in for Havost. So he's probably going to be ending up on the carry role. Maybe TA? I don't know. Could be anything. But Na'Vi do have their solid support player. and they have the solid support hero in the Shadow Shaman. And the question is, what do they want to do with their last pick? They could go for a little bit more team fight, or they could really help solidify their lanes. Nature's Prophet can go into that long lane, or he could jungle. Either way, Windrunner would probably be a decent pickup for Na'Vi. Quantic, on the other hand, they're going to look to probably shut down hard in the team fights. The question is, what team fight ultimates actually are still in the game right now? Like, Team Quantic's going to beat Na'Vi to the possibility of Windrunner, so they are going to have that long lane. Now, they do need either a jungle or someone to dual lane the Windrunner, tri-lane, roam around. One of those spare heroes, someone like a Sand King probably, to get that guaranteed stun. And wow, Na'Vi going to go with an anti-mage. It's going to be their last pickup, and it's going to be a disruptor for a support pick. But Na'Vi going to pick up an anti-mage. That is going to give them a lot of late game. Between the anti-mage, Templar Assassin, and then come late game, the Nature's Prophet to some extent as well. They're going to have so much right-click power. The question is whether or not they could actually survive the setup that Team Quantic poses with that Naga Siren ultimate into all those giant AoE spells. It'll be pretty close, I feel. But the Disruptor for Team Quantic, a very solid support pick. I do appreciate the fact that we're seeing him more and more in play. He's just such a useful hero with that glimpse. A pretty reliable counter to what the heck? Ars Art playing the anti-mage. That is very interesting. Ars Art is generally the person on Na'Vi playing the support hero, but I guess DK Phobos is a support stand-in. I don't know. I'm sure if Voice was here, the picks, the hero assignments would be very different. Anyway, let's go over who is playing what. On the Quantic side, we have Painted Gold playing the Venomancer. Korok is going to be carrying with the Naga Siren. The stand-in X-Mouse 1437 on the Disruptor. Brax is going to be playing the Brewmaster, and a stand-in XEG Universe playing the Windrunner. Meanwhile, on the Na'Vi side, we have Dendi on the Templar Assassin. Puppy going to be doing that supporting role on the Tidehunter. Ars Art, uncharacteristically, on the Anti-Mage. And we have some pretty cool treants moving out. That was from Light of Heaven, who's going to be jungling Nature's Prophet. And we also have the stand-in DK Phobos on that Shadow Shaman. Both teams talking about the courier. They do have Dota, which makes Na'Vi vastly far ahead as far as this game goes so far. They're going to spot out this anti-mage. He's going to cut his way right through. Some sly tactics right there. And run, treants, run! Or slap the Naga Siren. Get her, get her. Net hasn't leveled up yet. But it looks like there will be no level 1 engagement right now. Na'Vi definitely didn't want to take that. I mean, like, the Nature's Prophet was chilling in the base, and taking a 4v5 at level 1 generally isn't a good idea, especially with, you know, a clap, with the Gale, with the Net, and then with all sorts of unhappiness. Looks like Quantic are going to solo the Windrunner on the easy lane. Going to give her a little bit of an easier time. Brax, as expected, going to solo the mid lane with a tri-lane of Korok, Painted Gold, as well as 1437. So this tri-lane in the bot lane will be pretty effective against the dual lane of Na'Vi. Shadow Shaman is a good support, but against 3 heroes like that, there's really no way you could support this anti-mage. Anti-mage is going to get very heavily pressured, as you see already the pull camp being warded off. So the Shadow Shaman will not be very effective in supporting. Dendi against Brax. Dendi will probably have the advantage. Brewmaster usually is a pretty good laner up until like the 3rd level, compared to Templar Assassin. Once Templar Assassin gets 2 or 3 levels on the Earth faction, she's going to have a very easy time in lane. Get a little bit more range up as well. Light of Heaven not jungling, actually. That's kind of surprising. Okay. I don't know. Usually that's the gear that you want for jungling. Get lots of mana regeneration. But he's going to be going in the lane up against Universe. So it should be a fairly even lane there. I expect no one to die there. The tri-lane on the Quantic side has forced Puppy to rotate down. That is going to give Na'Vi a little bit more presence. But still, the usefulness of Naga Siren in the early stages of the game is a lot more useful than that anti-mage. The trade-off, however, is that Quantic don't really have solid crowd control, whereas Na'Vi, they do have the Shadow Shaman Shackle and then eventually that Hex. So they could actually shut someone down completely, as opposed to just slowing them, preventing their movement with Kinetic Field or Gale. Or Net, I suppose. AA blinking in, getting up for 157, Hex onto him, Shackles, I'm sorry. Gush as well as 157 as Light of Heaven teleports in. They're gonna get that first kill. Anti-Mage actually killed first, getting get first blood for Quantic. That's definitely Not a great engagement for Na'Vi. Light of Heaven teleported all the way down here to end up losing first blood regardless. That could have gone either way. Nature's Prophet did take down 1437. Anti-Mage's gold was split. So I guess Na'Vi are kind of happy that it didn't all go on Korok. But still, whenever your Anti-Mage dies, that is not a fortunate situation for you. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a lane rotation. Ours Art going to be soloing against the Universe Windrunner. That will give Windrunner a much easier time. Melee against ranged is always a good situation. And an Anti-Mage isn't the best laner, solo against a Windrunner. But a teleportation coming in. Light of Heaven wants to get a gank on the Universe. Universe already used his Wind Run. He's going to take a lot of damage from Light of Heaven. Is there a Sprout? Sprout is going to try to go off, but it doesn't matter. Arzart is there with the right clicks. Going to bring down Universe. That global presence of that Nature's Prophet being so useful for Na'Vi. Assisting in that first kill and then assisting... Well, he actually got that first kill. And then helping out in the second kill. And very aggressive play by Arzart as well, baiting out that Wind Run. If Windrunner did have that Wind Run, she probably would have gotten away. She does have tangos, so that a Sprout wouldn't have held her back for long. Light of Heaven looks like he's gonna actually... Wow, these trees look so freaking weird when they like headbutt things. He's actually gonna jungle up the enemy side. And Na'Vi completely foregoing that bot lane. I mean, Shadow Shaman's trying to get something out of it. And Puppy's hanging around as well, but he's mostly just jungling, trying to get as much income as he can. Because these lanes don't really fit a Tidehunter in that well. Dendi has a solo lane in the mid, pretty much under control. He's a little bit ahead, but really not by much. Might be very behind as well. Painted Gold teleporting in. He's going to take a clap hit, and he's going to take a gale as well. Dendi's not moving at all. Slowed to a crawl. He's taking a lot of damage. Teleportation coming in from Light of Heaven. He can get a good Sprout on Brax. He could save Dendi's life, but he actually traps them in with Dendi. Brax is taking a little bit of damage from the creeps, but Dendi with that meld will manage to survive. Pop off a Tango and walk out of there. Puppy and DK Phobos in the meantime doing a little bit of engagement onto Korok. Kill potential from this lane is not that huge considering the defensive capabilities of Disruptor as well as Naga Siren. Although Korok is going to get shackled. Puppy not really looking to get those right clicks in though. Korok is going to take a gush, but a kinetic field does go up. And Korok is going to walk away from this. Whoa, just barely escaping. 24 HP. I feel like that was just huge, massive miscommunication from Na'Vi. If Puppy actually hit Korok one more time instead of hitting that creep, that would have been a very, very solid kill. A kill that Na'Vi doesn't really need, but would very much appreciate. A kill on Naga Siren is always something good to have happen. The lane's constantly shuffling for this game for Na'Vi. See Anti-Mage taking a tour on the bot lane, then saying he doesn't really want a piece of that, he's going to go to the top lane. And Orange holding down the fort mid lane, top lane, everywhere he's needed. Already level 5. 2 tangos and 2 stacks, which is kind of weird. A little bit of harassment going on to the Tidehunter in the bot lane. 1437 just making sure to get his mana out. He's level 3, so he's not going to be the most effective at harassing quite yet. Korok is level 4. Going to get those Tranquil boots actually, so not going to go for the standard arcane boots. Going to go very defensive with that extra armor and of course that healing regeneration buff, boost, I don't know what you call it. But it'll give him a little bit more survivability in this lane. Question is, does he actually need the survivability? He was close to death before, yes. That's because he was playing very aggressively at very low health. I feel like he could have gone for, Power Treads or Arcane Boots, a little bit more of a standard boot choice if he wanted to go for that. Puppy getting teleported around, gonna go for 137. Light of Heaven gets glimpsed back all the way to where he came from. 157 still trapped in the trees though. Puppy is gonna get the last right click, but he is scaled, slow to a crawl. Is DK Phobos gonna go for this deny? No, he's gonna leave Puppy for dead. One more right click from Korok is gonna get them the Tidehunter kill. As the Shadow Shaman just bugs out of there. Light of Heaven teleporting down there. Did get the assist, but unfortunately for him, did not get the experience. If he did get the experience from that, he would have gotten his level 6. And a race to a double damage rune. Is the Treant going to get it? Is the Painted Gold going to get it? And, oh, the Treant was almost punching it. Painted Gold just a little bit too fast with those little arms of his grabbing up the rune and eating it. I guess that's what the heroes do, right? They eat the runes? It has to be, because the runes disappear. What else do you do with them? On his top lane, Universe having the easiest time of his life against this Anti-Mage. 23 for 3 on him versus 37 for 9. Anti-Mage not doing as bad as I thought he would do, as I massively miss a huge gank on the mid lane. Go me, that was just fantastic right there. The Sonic Trap, yeah, Sonic Trap into a whole bunch of gushing and disabling. Sorry for missing that, but Arzard not doing that bad on the Anti-Mage, but really, we'll see if he could actually carry the game. I don't know how much experience this guy has as the main carry player, but he's certainly being tested right now. He'll have a little bit of an opportunity to get a kill as Puppey moves up to the lane with Phobos. Phobos unfortunately out of mana, so Universe should be pretty safe. He does have that Wind Run. The Light of Heaven's teleport is available. Wrath of Nature's there as well. He's holding Gloves of Haste, but that could be either Treads or a Hand of Midas. Don't think he can actually get a Hand of Midas very quickly. He needs another 1,000 gold. A kill on Universe will definitely help that out. Meanwhile, on the Quantic side, Naga Siren continues to enjoy spot number 1 on gold per minute. EXP per minute, however, not so high up there, because he was playing in a little bit of a tri-lane in the beginning, and then a little bit of a dual lane later on. So not surprisingly, Dendy in the mid lane has the most levels. Mage Prophet ultimate bouncing around. Gonna soften up Universe? Yes, by quite a bit. That was like the last bounce. That's like a perfect thing for them. Light of Heaven teleporting in, gonna summon a whole bunch of those stumpy treants. Universe is gonna try to defend this teleportation, also coming in from the Brewmaster. But Puppey is waiting in the wings, not level 6 yet. Whereas Brewmaster is level 6. Probably not a fight that Na'Vi want to take. They're going to troll around the enemy jungle, look for someone to pick off. They're not going to find anyone, however. They might go for Painted Gold if he shows his face in this mid lane. He'll be in a lot of trouble. I believe they did see him. Looks like they don't actually want to go for him. Probably just interested in pushing down this mid lane. They do have 4 here. Not the most pushing coming out of these guys, though. Tidehunter is pretty good with that Anchor Smash. Nature's Prophet good as well. But there's no Leshrax. And this is time that Ars Art is having to not farm. If he gets this tower, he's going to be happy about that. But he's missing a lot of creep kills that he could be getting somewhere else in exchange for this tower. So Na'Vi making a very calculated decision to sacrifice Anti-Mage's farm in favor of this tower. They might not even get it, though, as Brax is closing the gap. TK Phobos gets slowed down, as well as takes the Shackle Shot mini stun. He gets instantly picked off. Dendy trying to go for Painted Gold. One more hit is going to get him that kill, as Dendy gets glimpsed back, something. Going to dodge that rock, I believe. But it doesn't matter. He's still going to go for those pandas. And what are you doing there, Anti-Mage? You're not supposed to be there. Tidehunter cycloned into the air. Dendy's going to take a rock. But the Naga Siren did deny the tower. And now here comes the Naga Siren ultimate. Is there a level 6 Thunder Disruptor? No, there is not. There is a kinetic field, however. That's good enough. Now 2 people from Na'Vi stuck in that kinetic field. The kinetic field does dispel, though. Sprout now. Bugged Sprout, not supposed to do that onto Puppey. Puppey is going to walk away, though, because the Brewmaster decided to go for switch targets. So Puppey, lucky to be alive. Standing Universe might be in a little bit of trouble as Light of Heaven teleports right back in for this. Dendy is invisible. There's no detection now, and Puppey popped level 6. Going to go for Universe. One more right click. Nature's Prophet does go down from the Sonic Traps to follow up on Painted Gold, trying to salve up. And there's a net onto Dendy, but here comes Phobos once again. Going to shackle up Brax. The right clicks are going to be enough to take him down. Light of Heaven picking up another kill. I feel like Quantic severely overextended there. The Naga Siren ultimate did not have enough follow-up. Everyone is low on mana from just that initial squabble. So even though Na'Vi did lose the Anti-Mage, they did gain a tower. They did pull themselves ahead as far as the kills go. 7-4 in favor of them. The gold sits at 0 with that tower kill plus all those other kills. The XP, though, really telling the story there of that fight. Gold advantage simply because Quantic has been farming better. But very, very good timing for Tidehunter to pop that level 6. Very, very good usage of that Ravage to really clean up the rest of that fight. But that fight, I don't know, Disruptor's going to get pretty strong in those fights. A setup with a Static Storm will be a pain in the ass considering how soft Ars Art is. He's going to go for a Vanguard, but 250 HP will only do so much against a Static Storm that you can't move away from. That's completely 100% set up. 157 and Brax going to try to do a little bit of harassment to this Anti-Mage. Deny him as much farm as he can. In the meantime, Na'Vi trying to push up on the top tier 1 tower. Someone's coming in hot. It is Korok with the Haste Rune. Universe is there as well. 2 of them should be able to defend this tower. But Dendy Setting up psionic traps all over the place. Wants that constant vision. Gonna run into painted gold. Dendy's invisible now. Do they have any true sight? They still don't have any true sight. I don't know if Venomancer turned around because he saw him, or because he was just simply farming this camp. But Dendy's just gonna camp out here, waiting for someone to make a mistake. Now he's gonna leave. They're gonna instead go for the very high prize target. It is gonna be Korok. Psionic trap goes down. He is slow to a crawl. Phobos is gonna move in for the hex, for the shackle as well. Korok is dead. Dendy with the right clicks, picking up that kill onto the Naga Siren. A very good pickup, no matter who you are, really. If you killed the Naga Siren, you're in a good position, especially when you can transition this into a push. But Brax and 157 want to get this tower of their own. Arzard is very weak, so he can't do anything about that. I don't even know why he's sticking around, trying to leech experience, I guess. The top tier tower has gone down from Quantic, and they have yet to take this bottom tier 1 tower. So this trade does favor Na'Vi. A kill and a tower in exchange for nothing is always a good trade, especially when they can keep going like this. Their push doesn't look like it wants to stop. DK Phobos has popped that level 6 mark, so he does have Serpent Wards for this. Light of Heaven maxed out those treants as well. Did pick up a Hand of Midas, and does have a Bring Up Basilius, which is turned on. So there's a lot of meat to tank for this tower, a lot of damage from those Serpent Wards. So this tower looks like it's going to be going down. Quantic have to mount a defense right now if they want to defend this. Song of the Siren is up, Pana Split is up, but this tower is not up. It is down to the Shadow Shaman's wards. 2 towers in exchange for none. Na'Vi doing some very aggressive pushing very early on in the game. Don't exactly have the heroes that would indicate that they're necessarily a pushing lineup, but hey, they're making it happen. Not spotted out by that Sentry Ward, because Sentry Wards have, like, you know, this much range by themselves. So their smoke will go undetected. Won't go for that Disruptor. I'm pretty sure they're smarter than that. Instead, going to transition down to the bot lane, where Arzart, fully recovered on health, thanks to that ring of health. And he's going to get a Battle Fury. Not going for Vanguard. He's going for the full-on farm build. But Na'Vi, they're just eating the towers one at a time. Towers are starting to fall in favor of Na'Vi. Quantic have yet to take a tower. Just going to put Na'Vi at a massive gold advantage. Already is sitting at 4,000 for them. Similar situation with the experience, so they're getting a pretty sizable lead for themselves. The question is, will Quantic actually want to defend this? Glimpse back is Puppy. Is there a silence? There has to be a silence, or else he's going to get a 4-man Ravage. But Na'Vi, they're all gone. Puppy is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Going to draw out that Brewmaster split. He's going to go down. Doesn't want anyone else from his team to be in any sort of trouble. The rest of his team has completely evacuated. Panderin's still going deep. Tried to do a little bit of damage, but they're going to time out. Arzart farming so close to danger. Painted Gold does spot him out. Instant blink away from the Anti-Mage. And Quantic are finally going to take their first Tier 1 tower. But they got to teleport back because Orange is up on the top lane, sending out his ultimate, Wrath of Nature. Try to get some map equilibrium in favor of Na'Vi, which that ultimate does do. Mid-tier 2s being pushed. Mid-tier 3s are going to get a little bit of pressure as well. But all of Quantic are smoked up. They're going to run into Dendy. Dendy does not have his Blink Dagger on him. Shackle Shot not going to latch, but he's going to get glimpsed back. He's in a huge amount of trouble. There is Sentry Ward this time, and Dendy is trying to meld, but he's in a huge amount of danger. He's going to go down to the Brewmaster's right clicks. In the meantime, Arzard, you're in a little bit of danger as well, man. You got to get out of there. Light of Heaven says, you guys just keep distracting them. I'll push this tower. Tier 3 is taking a little bit of damage from these treants. Not the most, because these treants are, not the strongest trees. But still, any pressure you can put on the Tier 3s this early is good damage. So the Universe is going to try to go for Light of Heaven, but the trap is there to slow her down. If Dendy's on point, there goes the Sonic Trap. Universe is not going to get that Shackle Shot. Windrun is up again. It looks like he doesn't want to actually chase that. Arzard still without a Battle Fury. Granted, he did get a really crappy beginning, and then he went up against a Windrunner solo. So it's kind of excusable that he has such a late Battle Fury. Then he does have that Blink Dagger though, so he will be able to initiate the fights very effectively. If he could draw any sort of fire away, so that Puppy can get his Ravage off, that'll be a Blink well spent. Even if he does die, a Ravage could very well mop the Quantic side. Especially when combined with Mass Serpent Wards. A long duration stun will allow you to get that perfect ward block. Mass teleportations coming in from Quantic. They want to defend this. Are they going to do a repeat of last time? Puppy's going to send out a Gush to Panic Gold. The Gale misses. Brax teleporting in. He does not have a split this time, though. The tower does go down to Windrunner. Denied it. Second tower denied. And now Denny getting glimpse back one more time. He does have his Blink Dagger, though, so he should be fine. Ultimate being popped out from Korok. And to catch only Puppy, who's on the front lines. That's exactly what Puppy wants, but the Static Storm is there, and he's constantly silenced due to that net. Puppy will not get his Ravage off. Dendy, in the meantime, assassinating that Disruptor. Korok is stuck in the middle of a huge amount of wards. He's going to go down. Dendy's taking a lot of damage from that double damage rune of the Brewmaster, and there goes both of them. Dendy, as well as the Naga Siren, getting taken down. DK Phobos trying to stand his ground near his wards. They're doing a lot of damage at Brax, bottling up, and he's going to be right back in this fight. He does have a split in 3 seconds. Universe is going to get shackled, but Phobos going to get hexed. He's still close to death. One more clap is going to do it. And this trade ends up going very well in Quantic's favor. They did lose the Naga Siren. They did lose that Disruptor, but they got the deny on the tower, and they picked up 3 in exchange. A very good trade for them. Anti-Mage wasn't even involved in that fight. He was farming the entire time, which is probably the best for Na'Vi, because if he was in that fight, he would have gotten focused down and pretty much squished. Arzart really cannot handle anyone at this point, 1v1, except for Disruptor. Glimpse will pretty much screw over Arzart, but he's got to get away, because that Glimpse range is absolutely freaking huge. Look at that. You see the Glimpse him all the way back, but there's no silence on him, so he just can blink out of this. Sonic Trap to follow. Den-D wants in, but if he blinks in, he's going to die 100%. No escape if he blinks in. He's going to let Arzart drink a whole lot of his bottle. Sharing is caring, and caring is nice. Or maybe just a couple of swigs. Did he drink the whole thing? I don't know. That was like 2 charges. But Na'Vi taking a pretty bad fight there. Gold isn't going to dip down into favor of Quantic. Neither is the experience. But it's still getting there. If Quantic could continue doing that, deny gold from those towers to Na'Vi, they'll pull themselves further and further ahead. Naga Siren with an ultimate are going to go for a Manta style. It's a very different build than from what we've been seeing in Naga Sirens with the Arcane Boots, Treads, into Radiance. Rushing Manta style is, I don't want to say outdated, but I definitely want to say it's an older build when you go straight Diffusal Manta style and then go for a very aggressive early game ganking build. Puppy is going to act very aggressive. He does have his Ravage still, but he's getting shackled to a tree. And DK Phobos is here to support. Puppy is in a lot of danger. There goes the Brewmaster split. Puppy's going to go down for absolutely nothing. Nothing that they could actually do to save him. DK Phobos might be in a little bit of trouble. The Brewmaster's ultimate is still up. He's forced to pop off his ultimate right now. Not the best use of those wards. He's going to go down regardless, though. Shackled to a tree. Brax has returned to his regular form. These wards are just going to be free farm for Korok and Brax. Not a good trade at all. Or that was actually not a trade. That was just Na'Vi getting picked off. That is going to mean the death of their tier 2 tower. Anti-Mage Illusions running in, but not going to do anything except burn a little bit of Universe's mana. The tower does go down to Naga Siren. Korok a little bit closer to that mana style if he wants to go for it. I don't see him actually getting a Lincoln Sphere. Seems kind of a silly item to get for his first item. Korok and AA are going to duel each other for a little bit, but Arzart has had enough of that. He's going to teleport out. Light of Heaven in the meantime constantly pushing out the top lane. Brought the tower all the way down to half HP. If he could somehow ninja that tower down, that'll be actually pretty big for Na'Vi. Would have definitely redeemed those 2 tower denies with the surprise tower kill. The tier 3's tower is usually not something that you could rely on to get that extra gold. It has to be, the tier 1s and tier 2s, you're like, oh, those are just gold that you could take whenever you want. But tier 3s, those would actually take a lot of effort to bring down. And if you can ninja one out, then that's a huge boost for your team. Quantic, they don't have the Brewmaster ultimate, but they do have the Song of the Siren. Well, when she gets mana. They also do have the Static Storm. Really, that's all they need. If they could shut down their Tidehunter, if they could lock him down within that Static Storm, then he's not going to get that Ravage off. He's simply not tanky enough at this point to withstand the Static Storm plus all the right clicks and still get his Ravage off. If he could somehow get that tanky, then, well, that'll be great for Na'Vi. They could get that for sure Ravage. But until then, Tidehunter is not very influential in this game. He needs to be the one initiating. If he gets initiated upon, then, well, things aren't going to go that well for Na'Vi. You saw in that last fight, I don't know what Puppy was doing over here, trying to get a 1 vs 3 fight, but it didn't pan out for him in the end. Brewmaster has picked up a Blink Dagger of his own, so there's going to be a lot of blinking action going on. Dendy with his, Brax with his. And of course Arzart with his. He doesn't have a dagger though. I think he upgraded them to blink. I don't know what these are called. I have no idea. Quantic playing very aggressively, gonna go after Navi's Ancients. I don't think Navi actually know about this though. They don't have many wards up at all. They only have, well, they do have this one, so they do know about it. Don't know what the hell I'm smoking. They're gonna spot them out, and a little bit of engagement as Dendi picks off the Venomancer with a haste rune and makes a run for it. Venomancer did get a lot of poison damage off on the TA, but TA wants more. He wants 147 or Korok or anyone. But he's taking a lot of damage from this. He's going to still his haste rune though. He's going to go for 157. Huge burst damage. And Light of Heaven is still here. Blink out from Dendi to try to get that last hit, but it didn't work. 2-man Jackal Shot, but a Ravage on 3. Even better. Instant Ward Trap on Korok, but he does find space to walk out of there. He can try to teleport out of this, and he will get out. The power of that Naga Siren ultimate. But a very good 3-man pick off from Na'Vi. Dendi doing the assassination work, as his hero's name would imply. And Puppy with a very long-range Ravage. Gonna get himself, well, get his team 3 kills. 4 heroes now in the mid lane. Gonna bring down the tier 3 tower. And Arzart by himself gonna bring down the tier 2 tower. Did I say tier 3? Tier 2s. Tier 2s has gone down. Puppy gonna get engaged upon. He's gonna get instantly bursted down before he gets anything off. Braxton Korok doing so much damage. Now DK Phobos gonna get glimpsed back into a kinetic field. He's absolutely surrounded. Gonna try to get a shackle off to do a little more damage to Brax. But it's not gonna do anything except you know, make Brax a little bit pissed off that he didn't have a chance to actually get that kill. But I'm sure kills on the Naga Siren is what it's all about. Denny's gonna spot off the team, moving to Roshan. Quantic want this Roshan kill. They don't have, well, they do have that Riptide for minus armor, but really the Roshan killing capabilities aren't that big. Painted Gold really needs a lot of those Plague Wards up. If they want to effectively bring down this Roshan, they're gonna take a lot of damage otherwise. Dendi's illusion drawing out a lot of spells. Good play by Dendi using that illusion rune to really make a difference. He's going to send a second one in. Roshan continuing to get whittled down, and Na'Vi could mount a defense, or they could simply push down the tier 3. Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through, doing quite a bit of damage. 1-4-3-7. Going to play a little bit with Dendi, who's melded up in the background. Roshan is slowly being brought down, and it will go down. Nature's Prophet teleporting in. Going to try to steal something, but he gets instantly glimpsed back to the top lane. I'm sure he's okay with that. He's going to keep fighting up there. Universe is getting initiated upon. Shackles on him and an anti-mage ultimate on him, but DK Phobos is completely trapped. He's going to try to get out of this, but there's so many Brewlings in the way. Puppy does not have his ultimate. Painted Gold is going to initiate upon by Arzart. Static Sword dropped down. Arzart cannot blink out of there. And now Tidehunter, when he falls, he's going to be silenced as well. Completely surrounded by illusions. Dendi going in, assassinating Disruptor though. He's going to go for Painted Gold. One more hit is all he needs, but he gets netted to the ground. And Dendi's also going to go down. Light of Heaven, the only one to survive from that, will not even bring down the tier 3 tower. As Quantic take a very good fight. They get the Roshan, they get the Aegis, they get 4 for 2. A beautiful fight for Quantic. Light of Heaven tries to make something happen on this top lane. Painted Gold's going to try to wrestle him, but it's not going to be enough. Teleportation coming in from Korok, just going to get a little bit of farm. He's going to force staff himself forward, actually. Pop the Song on the Siren. Now Light of Heaven's going to go down as well. Korok, not much mana, but it's more than enough to kill this Nature's Prophet, especially with Painted Gold's help. Yeah, Naga Siren does pick up yet another kill. Nature's Prophet buys back into the game. Does have a Hand of Midas available to him, so I guess he'll be able to recoup a little bit of that cost. That was a pretty expensive buyback for not much result. Na'Vi kind of slipping up in this game. I mean, their anti-mage still continuing to get big, but the fights definitely aren't going the way they expect. I mean, against a Naga Siren, against a Disruptor, against a Brewmaster, team fights are bound to be extremely hard. But that Disruptor Glimpse really being a huge factor there, sending Orange all the way back to the top lane, denying lots of right-click power from that Nature's Prophet. Gonna go for an Ultimate Orb, not sure what that's gonna be built into, probably a Manta style. So he will try to go for a little bit more of a right-clicking build, try to be an additional damage dealer. But if he keeps getting glimpsed, it's not gonna matter because the damage he deals will not be where it actually counts, and the rest of Quantic's team will be able to just mop up the rest of Light of Heaven's team without him. So shit, smoke up now. Light of Heaven's gonna teleport to the top lane. I'm pretty sure they know that Nature's Prophet's here. Smoke not being used very well for Light of Heaven, or anyone else for that matter. Smoke completely whiffed. Puppy and Phobos are still invisible. But so is a lot of Quantic. Quantic want a kill, and Painted Gold, wow, you have a 4-staff? This Venomance is loaded. Are there 2 4-staffs? There are 2 4-staffs, so Quantic, plenty of 4-staffs, a Blink Dagger as well. Na'Vi, they do have a mech up, they do have some Blink Daggers of their own, 1 4-staff on them. So the mobility is there for both teams. But Quantic, after that Roshan fight, the gold still is in favor of Na'Vi because Quantic have yet to take 4 of the outer towers. The XP is starting to dip more and more in favor of Quantic with those 3 kills. Arzart's got to be careful now. A shackle shot could mean his death. He does get shackled to a creep. Arzart, what are you doing here? Here comes Puppy to support. He's going to pop us. No! He gets Static Storm. No Ravage for you, Puppy. Stuck in there. Arzart taking a lot of damage, but he does go down. Disruptor picks up that kill, and now the Shadow Shaman is up in the air. Puppy looking for a Ravage, but there's nothing to do with that Ravage. Everyone's magic immune. But DK Phobos is going to get alive, though. Templar Assassin being the one to be brought down. There goes Shadow Shaman on the run. Puppy's on the run, and also net on him. Brax is going to teleport in for that Shadow Shaman kill, and Shadow Shaman's going to go down as well. Another 4-man sweep as the Orange tries to take down the tier 3 tower. He does get the tower down. He will get the racks with these treants. The racks are very low, 100 HP. Fortification forced to pop off. Song of the Siren as well. They had to kill off these treants very quickly. 76 HP, 60, 50. Will it go down? Yes, it does go down. Na'Vi getting completely team wiped, but instead taking out the tier... they're not even tier 3. I guess they did get the tier 3. Okay. Gonna drink some water and then recap. Just getting a little bit too ahead of myself there. My apologies. But they did take out the tier 3. They did take out the melee racks. In exchange for team wipe, that is worth it technically. But the problem is that Quantic, they're just getting farther and farther ahead in these team fights. Even though Nature's Prophet wasn't there, the rest of his team was fighting. And it didn't go the way of Na'Vi, like at all. Tidehunter still has his Ravage though. That Static Storm, Silence, such a useful tool. That's something that Disruptor brings to the field that many other supports do not, and that's a pretty big team fight spell. Useful for shutting down anti-mages and Tidehunters. But they did get the racks though. That is going to mean that the creeps constantly are going to be pushing down towards Quantic's base. It will open up a couple of doors for Na'Vi. They can split push the bottom lane, split push the mid lane, because they know that that top lane is going to constantly be pushing in. Quantic are going to try to put as much momentum towards that lane as possible, bring down this tier 1 tower. Pretty much just free gold at this point. Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through, but the mech instantly relieving them of all that pain. Tower has gone down, and Brax is going to teleport back. Fortification just slowing them off to piss them off. Arzart's going to blink forward, try to get a little bit of damage on this tower. Teleportation coming in. It is Korok, so he could, blink away at the last second. Beautiful blink by him. Puppy wants to use his Ravage right now. Dendi, whoa, Painted Gold gets 4-staffed a mile. That was pretty crazy, but Korok is still in the middle of everything. Phobos shackled to a tree. He won't get any of the spells off. There goes a Ravage, though. He's going to burst down all of Korok's illusions. He gets hexed up as well. Korok is getting a lot of damage. He gets Mana Void, and he's going to go down to his Aegis. Brax taking a lot of damage as well, but he does have that split up on him. Korok now back into the fight. Going to take down the Shadow Shaman. Going to go net Light of Heaven. All the meantime, Dundee is in the middle of the whole mess of heroes. He's going to get brought down as well, wasting his 10-second BKB charge. Arzart, gotta get out of here. Light of Heaven as well. He's gonna try to teleport out of this. Is there a rock? No, there's a Cyclone. Nature's Prophet, you are in a ton of trouble. Shackle shot to a tree. Yes, Light of Heaven, you are dead to a power shot, sir. Quantic taking a very, very solid, 4th in a row team fight. Na'Vi, even though they do have that Rax, it was a gimmick Rax. They didn't really push in to earn it. They lost so much to earn it. They suicided on it. You might say, what's the difference? Well, the thing is, even if they do have options to split push, if they get stomped in all these fights, and Quantic is just going to get so far ahead. The gold somehow still in favor of Na'Vi because of these 3 tier 2 towers, but the experience is going to be the main changing factor here, as Puppy might be in a little bit of danger. He gets glimpsed back. Perfect shackle to a tree. Opportunity Universe is going to take it, and Puppy is going to go down yet again. His 8th death this game. Arzar's trying to make something happen with his new Manta style. Get a Mana Void that Windrunner as he tries to make his way out of here. Sonic Trap as Dendi has joined the fray. Is there enough damage though to actually bring anyone down? Taking Focus is here as well. Korok is taking a lot of damage from Dendi, but Static Storm slowing them down oh so much. Dendi's still taking Static Storm damage. He's going to go down to the Venomancer of all people. Arzar bleeding forward does pick off Korok, but in the meantime, Phobos is trying to wrestle off Brack as well as 157. Painted Gold is going to go down to the teleportation from Light of Heaven. Oh, of course, you got freaking Scythe of Eyes. Why would I not think of that? Nature's Prophet with a blink hex. 157 still getting chased down by Dendi. No, Dendy's actually dead. That was just a random psionic trap. 157 gonna be in a lot of trouble. Arzart right next to him. He gets hexed up. 157. He's gonna get shredded down. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit with the Mantis style, and you're dead, Disruptor. 4 down for Quantic. Without the Brewmaster ultimate, without that Song of the Siren being popped off, that's the kind of fight that Na'Vi needs. They need to get these picks. And Brax is forced to tank up the creep wave until his own responds. Try to hold off these big melee creeps to save himself the trouble of big range creeps down the road. Na'Vi did get a couple of kills there in exchange for 2, I believe. And they lost Dendy as well as Puppy. But Quantic still, I feel, very far ahead as far as these team fights go. They're in, well, the XP is taking quite a roller coaster ride. But I still feel that despite this melee racks, Quantic are ahead because they could just take team fights like nothing. Granted, the last team fight didn't go too well for them, but that's because their team fight wasn't at full potential. Dendy just does so much damage at this point in the game, though, so Na'Vi, their chances are, if they get picks, if they avoid a full 5-on-5 clash, if they somehow nullify the effectiveness of that Naga Siren, they'll be able to do quite well for themselves. But if Quantic manage to make that happen, if they catch 2 in a static storm, it's going to mean the death of Na'Vi for sure. It's just a matter of playstyle. Up until the point where Anti-Mage gets tanky enough, Tidehunter gets tanky enough, so that they could actually survive the entire thing and still get their big spells off, or in the Anti-Mage's case, still deal the damage. But until that happens, Na'Vi's going to be in the back foot as far as team fight goes. It's kind of odd to say when you have a Tidehunter on your team, but that's simply the case against all this team fight from Quantic. TA also went for a very defensive item, so he's not interested in getting silenced at all. Or, you know, any of the other millions of spells that Quantic has to throw out. Quantic grouping up. Look like they want to smoke, but there's smoke. There you go. Smoke up on Quantic. You're going to see a couple of Dendys walking around. You know that they're completely fake. Especially this one, which is losing to creeps. You get a creep kill for himself. Go Illusions. They're going to instead rotate to the top lane, look for Arzart trying to farm the jungle. But Arzart is miles away up in the trees. If Painted Gold loses his smoke, though, they're going to know where he is. You got to teleport, like, right now, Anti-Mage. He's in so much trouble, but he has no idea. The range is just a little bit too far. This Anti-Mage does get away from that deadly smoke gank by hiding in trees. Naga Siren, for some reason, picking up a Vlad's. I don't know. Probably to push out the top lane. I don't know why people get Vlad's on Naga Siren. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, Korok used Vlad's in his Naga Siren game, so I must get it in mine. It's like, no, that's... Oh, God. Why are you doing this to me, Korok? Opening up a whole can of worms. Navi's going to try to go for Roshan, but they're instantly spotted out. Braxton teleport in, as well as a split to follow. Puppy's on a good position for a Ravage. He's just going to get 3 of them, but Light of Heaven says, I'm out of here. You guys can fight this if you want. Puppy's going to take a lot of damage. He's slowed to a crawl. Is there anyone actually left in here? Dendy trying to hold his ground, but he's not long for life. Korok is here, and he's just going to shred down Dendy. There goes the Templar Assassin. DK Phobos still around. Puppy's still around with an invisibility rune. Looks like Quantic don't want to deal with this, guys. The mid lane gets completely pushed in. Painted Gold instantly hexed up, and he's going to get taken down immediately. These Raxes are in danger. Korok forced to pop up the Song of Siren. Light of Heaven and Arzart are completely immobilized. Do they have enough damage to actually focus down this melee Rax? The top lane has been pushed out. Arzart going to try to go. He gets the Mana Void on Naga Siren. He does bring her down, but he's going to get taken down as well. Going to use his Magic Stick charges. Not going to be enough. Light of Heaven trying to run away. Going to sprout himself. He doesn't. They do have vision of him, though. Shackled to a tree. Glimpsed out. Light of Heaven is going to go down as well. So Na'Vi trying to do some tricky play right there. Is there a true sight? There is. Puppy is spotted out by the gem. He had no idea, and you're going to go down, sir. There's no way you're going to escape this. Puppy's going to go down to a power shot. Instant buybacks, though. So Quantic, they didn't get the Roshan, but they sure did get that team fight. But in exchange, they lost yet another tower. Light of Heaven, and as well as Arzart playing extremely sneaky with their high mobility heroes. Fortunately, I don't know if they could win simply by backdooring like that, or, you know, playing sneaky like that. I guess to Navi's favor, Dendy, Puppy, as well as the Shadow Shaman Phobos were tanky enough to delay Quantic by quite a bit, so that it bought Arzart and Light of Heaven the time to actually bring down that tower, as well as a little bit less than half of that melee Rax. But in the meantime, the top lane has pushed out for Na'Vi. The ranged Rax is brought down, so the push will be a little bit faster going the way of Na'Vi against Quantic. Quantic Rax getting initiated right upon by Arzart. No shackle to a tree. And there goes the Manta Illusions, trying to do as much mana burning as they can. Not like for a kill, I feel. Here comes Dendi. Dendi might be able to get a kill. Kinetic Field gonna stop him dead in his tracks, though. Roshan has gone down to Na'Vi, and the Aegis of the Immortal did go on to Dendi. So he could initiate without fear. Even if he gets his refraction charges burned through, he could still do quite a bit of work. Because he has a second life, of course. Arzart now with the Manta style as well as a Reaver. So he's going to be looking to get tanky. That's really all you need at this point if you're going to be doing these base dives. You just want to be tanky so you could ignore everyone and just shrug them off and just keep working on that tower. Quantic, though, they have very good tools to make sure that that doesn't actually happen. They do have the Song of the Siren, which will buy them quite a bit of time. More important, though, they have Brewmaster's Drunken Haze. A spell that you don't really see being used a whole lot to great effect. But if you put it on Dendi or Arzart, or anyone really, when they're attacking that Rax, they're going to be severely crippled as far as their DPS goes. Arzart's going to spot off Brax. Korok is there as well. Na'Vi does not have Light of Heaven, but they could have him at a moment's notice in that fight. So Quantic, they're looking for a big team fight right now. Universe can look for that shackle shot. It is not going to hit as Arzart blinks away, but he gets glimpsed back. He's in a lot of trouble now. There goes a Static Storm as well. Arzart is so freaking dead. Here comes the Puppy, though, with the Ravage hitting 3. Light of Heaven also teleporting in, trying to bring down Korok before he gets any of his spells out. Dendi going to try to add his DPS to it, but he gets cycloned up into the air by that Brewmaster ultimate. Puppy is on the run. Light of Heaven not going to get shackled to that one, but Korok is going to throw off a net, and that is going to latch. Power Shot going to finish him off. Shadow Shaman in the meantime picking up Painted Gold. Puppy is still trapped against that kinetic field, and he's going to get brought down as well. Shadow Shaman, where are you? You are very low life. Dendi's still in the middle of everyone. Going to blink himself away, but not out of danger yet. He's going to pop up his refraction and BKB, try to stand his ground against Korok, but Korok does have that lifesteal. He's going to bring down that Templar Assassin. He needs to blink out right away. Is there going to be enough time? No, there is not. Dendi's going to go down for a second time. Na'Vi once again getting pretty much team wiped. Shadow Shaman the only one to live from that. Picking off Painted Gold, but will it be enough? Quantic's pulling ahead further and further as far as their hero kills go. Even though they did lose their top Rax, if they keep hold of these other Raxes, then they'll be just fine. Because they could win in pretty dominating fashion. Naga Siren ultimate wasn't even used there. Static Storm used just to kill the anti-mage, more than worth it. Na'Vi not going to be up in full strength for another minute or so. Granted, the same thing is true for Quantic. They kind of need that Brewmaster ultimate to fight. He's holding on to 4,500 gold. I don't know why he's so much. Just getting Aghanims. Well, there you go. He's getting an Aghanims. Brewmaster, once he gets that Aghanims, he's topped out. Pretty much won't get any stronger. You can try to increase the strength of his main panda, but really if you pick Brewmaster, it's all about that ultimate. And level 3 ultimate plus an Aghanim Scepter, that's maxed out. Let's actually take another look at the Golden Experience chart. Gold continuing to pull ahead as far as for Na'Vi, despite the 14 kill disadvantage. Could be attributed to the extra towers that they have down, as well as the fact that these top lane creeps give less bounty. The experience is in favor of Quantic, not by much though. That experience difference is really not influential at all. And most of the experience is being put onto that anti-mage. Level 23. Very scary anti-mage at this point, but there's with the amount of lockdown that Quantic has, with Glimpse and Net, and Power, and Shackle Shot, and Drunken Haze. Doesn't really matter if anti-mage is really huge, because he could be killed very easily. TA gonna go for some crit action. Kunkka style TA, I guess. Kill everyone with one side blade hit. I'd like to see that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Actually, side blades could hit the illusions of Naga Siren and then spill more damage over. I don't think I've ever seen that used though in a pro game. Like, it's a mechanic that I know about, but I don't really think it's used a whole lot, just because of how situational it is. Arzart's gonna run into a ton of Naga Sirens. He has a puppy to back him up though. But he's actually getting a lot of damage from simply these illusion runes. Or was it illusion rune? No, those were the real mirror images, so this game is very close. Despite the 14 kill deficit that Na'Vi has, they still have more than enough of a fighting chance. If they get a couple of picks, they could transition right into a second set of racks. At that point, it's like, well, you could have many kills up above us. You'll still have creeps constantly going up your lanes. As Nature's Prophet picks up a Monkey King bar, gonna nullify that Talisman Evasion into what I'm guessing is gonna be a Butterfly. Don't think Naga Siren's gonna get a Halberd. Although against Dendi as well as Arzart, might not be a bad idea to get that Halberd. It's just not an orthodox item for Naga Siren at all. Butterfly is kind of the holy mecca of agility carries. You know, also 6 Divine Rapiers. Korok might be now being in a little bit of trouble. Puppy spotting me out with Invisibility Rune. Light of Heaven gets that Hex off. Korok might be in a little bit of trouble. Brax blinks in, gets a split off. Ravage going to be used only for Korok. Korok is going to go down, but will it be worth it? Light of Heaven's taking a lot of damage right now. The Brewling's constantly doing that damage, but one already did get taken down. Storm Panda going to give chase. Just trying to be a little bit of a nuisance, lifting Light of Heaven up into the air. The Storm Panda does go down to Dendi. In the meantime, what are you doing there, Arzart? In the middle of everything, Static Storm silencing him, preventing him from doing anything. He's going to go down for free. Quantic getting a very easy pick off there, as the rest of his team just leaves. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, Anti-Mage, you are not invulnerable. So 1-for-1 trade there, getting Korok in exchange for Arzart. Thing is though, Korok does have buyback, which he just used, and he could barrel down that mid lane. Ravage was also used. Split was used as well. So 2 big ultimates for Quantic. Well, I guess 3. Quantic also used Static Storm. So they're all down, and they have to defend this top lane. So it's a very good thing that Light of Heaven managed to pick up that top set of racks, or else you would bet that Quantic would have all 5 right now, pushing down that mid lane, knowing that Anti-Mage is out of the fight for another 50 seconds. Power of Nature's Prophet showing itself once again, putting momentum to all the waves, and then just going to the jungle to farm. Wrath of Nature does that. Constantly pushes those waves. Such a useful tool to just get your team space for farming. You can see these creeps just evaporate. Bot lane as well, getting a little bit of momentum, forcing Quantic to stay on their side of the map. If they want to push in, they have to clean up the side lanes first, or else Light of Heaven is just going to constantly be pressuring all the lanes. Well, you know, the Raxes are going to be pressuring the top lane. But he could force Quantic from pushing simply by pushing towards them. Just doing this giant army of treant thing. Although they're not going to go to the base. They're going to sit right here and do nothing. The Entmoot doesn't happen all that much. That's exactly what this shit is. They're just discussing whether or not they should go to war. And now they're like, last march of the treants. Did not go so well, guys. They probably should not have done that. Now Middle Earth is screwed. Unfortunate. But anyway, 14 kills is the difference still. Light of Heaven continuing to be a nuisance on this bot lane with those treants. But this time, Quantic might not be fooled. Universe is going to start transitioning into a DPS build of his own. Try to counter off, or like at least balance the damage coming out from Light of Heaven. Quantic wants to delay this push as much as possible. But in the meantime, all of Na'Vi smoked up, looking for a kill in the top lane. Arzart is going to reveal himself, but unfortunately there's no kill to be had here. Instead, all the Quantic heroes are going to be smoked up, except for Naga Siren. I guess she forgot the memo, and Windrunner. I don't know what happened there. But they're going to go onto this top lane. Arzart's going to try to look pretty. This is a bait. It's the biggest trap in the world. Admiral Akbar, get ready. Now they're going to fall back. Boring. Universe is going to find Arzart. Going to get a failed Shackle Shot on him. Slow him down just a little bit. Windrunner pop off as well. He really wants something of this, but he does not have Shackle Shot. He does have a Hex, which is just as good, if not better, than a Shackle Shot for initiation. But Na'Vi not interested in taking that fight. All the big ultimates are up. Or well, I guess Nature's Prophet is down, but not really a team fight or spell. It does do damage, but it's commonly not seen as a team fight spell. On par with Ravage or, you know, Song of the Siren, Split, anything like that. Both teams constantly farming. Gold advantage is still going Navi's way by quite a bit. Experience, not so much with the 14 kill deficit. You know, what do you expect? The gold, let's actually take a look at how the gold is distributed. Let's take a look at gold per minute. Lots on Light of Heaven, lots on Arzart. Dendi sitting in the middle of the road and the two supports down there, so I guess 2-1-2, pretty normal distribution there for Na'Vi. The Roshan is up. This is the third summon of Roshan, or third life of Roshan. And unfortunately for Roshan, he cannot use the Aegis that he wields. He's going to get taken down extremely quickly by Korok, but it doesn't matter though. Na'Vi want this set of racks, wards to drop off, and they're forcing Roshan back. The Roshan does go down regardless though. Naga Siren picks that up. Braxton teleport in, get a clap off, get the split, but Venom goes down instantly before popping off his ultimate. Are they going to focus down the set of racks? Light of Heaven has to focus down the melee racks. Puppy taking a little bit of damage, but no one from Na'Vi is actually going down. The racks have fallen. What are you doing? Universe without a TP scroll. Korok without a TP scroll as well. That did cost him the racks. Will it cost him the game? He's going to use a Song of Siren and walk right on by. There's no more team fight available because this Panda and Brewmaster is currently out of it. Stack Storm going to drop off with a kinetic field. Beautiful, holding off Puppy out of play. Light of Heaven is going to get right-clicked by Brax. Huge amount of damage coming out from him, but Dendi and Arzart is going to work on the Naga Siren, who instantly loses that Aegis. Huge mana void onto 157, barely living with 20 HP. Not gonna matter though, he gets taken down. Brax gets revived, or comes back into this fight somehow, and Arzart's gonna work on him. Korok is still alive as well. Brax is gonna go down, however. One more hit is all you need there. He's gonna live. No, he's gonna go down. Arzart now stuck in a kinetic field. Will he have enough time to blink out? No, he will not. Mech charge not enough to bring him back alive, but he buys back anyway. And Na'Vi with somehow two Braxes in their pocket. Korok without a TP scroll. Universe without a TP scroll, and that really costed them those sets of Raxes. One tier 4 tower also did get taken down, so Na'Vi now they have them completely under their thumb. Despite these wards from Quantic, really they're not doing much because they won't be able to leave this point in their base. I wish I could draw on these maps. They're pretty much forced to their base. If they leave, they have to go through the bot lane, or if they go through the mid lane, they have to make sure they push it out a lot first. But with Nature's Prophet on the other end, it's going to be very hard because those lanes will constantly be pushing. You can see this very healthy army led by two fake anti-mages pushing down this top lane. Disruptor simply does not have the creep clearing ability to deal with this. They need someone a little bit heavier. I guess Windrunner's kind of gearing into that. At this point, Quantic might want to consider buying some Maelstroms, some Mjolnirs, just to get that extra damage onto that creep wave. Because their AoE isn't that big. Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through one last time. But Na'Vi, they smell their victory. 14 kills down still. I don't know how they managed to keep the kill discrepancy that tight for that amount of time, but it's the miracle that is Na'Vi. 2 Raxes ahead, 14 kills down, no big deal. They just need one more Rax, and once they get that, I'm pretty sure it's game. I do not think Quantic will be able to withstand mega creeps. Once again, Quantic, if they're all there, they can take a fight. It's just going to be whether or not they could actually make it happen. Brax does have his split up. Does he want to go in? He's kind of posing like he does, but Arzart gets silenced with the Static Storm. Kinetic Field as well. Will they bring Arzart down before this fight even begins? They will. Arzart goes down without buyback. This is not Korok's chance. What the hell am I saying? This is Quantic's chance to actually make something happen. Push down mid, take a tower, take a Rax. But the mid lane is in full breach. The top lane is also not doing too well. I guess Naga Siren's kind of helping that, but the mid lane pushing in, bottom lane pushing in, keeping Quantic from actually doing anything on the back of that kill. They have to defend their base. They simply do not have an option, and that's where the Nature's Prophet comes in. That's where Mantis Style comes in from Anti-Mage. Well, I guess it's kind of dead, but kind of serving the same purpose. Mantis Style as well on Nature's Prophet. So he's going for a full-on push build. I would not be surprised to see him like sell off one of his items, hand a Midas, pick up a Mjolnir. just to get a little bit more pushing. He's going to teleport to the mid lane where Dendy's in trouble. He's hexed up by Universe. Here comes Light of Heaven hexing up the Universe right in exchange. Universe is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to get forced out. Not enough time, though. There's Korok's ultimate. Brax does not have his ultimate. Puppey does, however, have his ultimate. 157 trying to walk through the trees. He's in a little bit of danger, though. DK Phobos gets netted to the ground. He pops that Ghost Scepter and walks away. Korok going to try to close the gap, but it's not going to be in time. Dendy going to go out to Painted Gold. Not enough damage on him, however, with that Daedalus. Still not enough damage. Kinetic Field not going to hit. Latch, though, onto Dendy. Going to bring him back, but he gets brought down before that Glimpse can bring him back. Light of Heaven trapped against the corner. He's going to try to teleport out, but he gets hexed out, and lots of people from Na'Vi are dead right now. Only Puppey is alive, but once again, they have to defend their top lane. The mid lane is actually being pushed down decently. Their bottom lane is actually pushing down decently as well. This is Quantic's chance. Forget what I said before. Anti-Mage is alive, but you know what? Everyone else is dead. Unfortunately, Light of Heaven spent all his money a little bit too quickly on that Manta Style, not helping him quite enough. Tier 3 towers are starting to take a little bit of damage. Fighting through that backdoor regeneration is holding them up, but they're saving their fortification. Now they have that backdoor regeneration, just regaining a lot of that tower's health. And Quantic, are they going to fall back from this? Korok dealing a ton of damage at this point in the game. He's going to take down the tier 3 towers, but the backdoor regeneration is still active. Puppey's in a little bit of danger, however. He's going to pop the Ghost Scepter and walk out of this. Pop up his mech as well. Ravage just slow them down. There's no follow-up, however. Kinetic Field going to get dropped down. The Raxes are starting to go down. Still, the backdoor regeneration is slowing them down so much. Even through the Focus Fire, even through this farm Naga Siren, they do eventually bring it down, however. But Arzart is in the middle of frickin' nowhere, making sure that that backdoor protection stays up. And wow, this game is just to the wire. I do like how people recommended this. I saw like some thread on Reddit like a while ago. I'm like, didn't someone recommend a good game? Arzar trying to go for the mid tier bot tier 3s. He's gonna get drunk and hazed, and he's got to watch out now. If he dies, he's gonna be in a huge amount of trouble. Buyback is up on him, so he will be able to buy back. But there's a Static Storm. There goes a Hex. Arzar, you are dead. Trying to do the Rambo thing. Unfortunately, you are not Rambo, sir. You are not muscular enough. You're simply an agility hero, not a strength hero. And he does get taken down. That is 89 seconds where Na'Vi are without their main carry. But really, Arzart hasn't been playing a real carry. I mean, he's been doing the damage great, but he hasn't really been in the fights. When he's in the fights, he's mostly in the background, just picking people off with that Mana Void. Mostly, he's been doing the damage to the Raxes, which I guess is good since they got 2 of them. But now Quantic managed to extend their lead by a little bit more than 14 kills. Will it be enough, though? I don't know. This game is still so damn close. Gold earned continuing to be in Navi's favor because Quantic simply without that income from the mid lane, from the top lane. EXP, though, going the complete other direction. So Quantic could take a team fight, but they don't really have the items to back it up. Brewmaster is pretty much topped out. Korok almost topped out. He does have a cheese, which is he's going to have to eat and then replace with something else eventually. But D still has a couple of item slots. Arzart still has a couple of item slots as well. So the carries from Na'Vi get stronger. Whereas the damage dealers from Quantic are almost maxed out. And like Windrunner's trying to fill that role. But then again, so is Light of Heaven. Light of Heaven does have a little bit more gold per minute than the Windrunner, as you can see. Where's Windrunner? There we go. 160 more gold per minute. That'll get you some big items. What Na'Vi has to do right now is that they have to get a pick. What Quantic have to do is just find a team fight, push out the lanes, smoke up exactly like they're doing right now, and just try to get a kill. Na'Vi are also smoked up, though. Ravage is up. Are all the big ultimates up? Static Storm is the important one. Yes, it is up. Everything is up. Both teams, though, gonna completely dodge each other, though. Q Benny Hill, we see these like mini-map movements right now. Na'Vi, are they gonna go straight for the throne? That will be super, super ballsy. TP scrolls. You need to have TP scrolls, guys. They all do, thankfully. Naga Siren has Boots of Travel, which is super TP scroll. they're just going to go straight for the tier 3 on the bot lane. Teleportation's all coming in from everyone right now. Light of Heaven's going to pop off his Manta style. This tower is starting to take a little bit of damage. Puppey looking for a Ravage. Painted Gold immediately just dropped down though. Korok is stunned also. Dendy's just constantly right-clicking down as DK Phobos with the BKB, holding out Korok out of this play. He's going to pop his cheese and he'd be just fine, but the Raxes are now in a little bit of danger. Arzart and Light of Heaven just working on them while the rest of his team, while the rest of Na'Vi is dying. This Rax is the last Rax that Quantic has. It does go down. Mega Creeps are going to be bearing down on them. Antimage is still alive, doing the carry thing. Light of Heaven as well, going to try to teleport away. No, but the Throne is in danger. Throne at half health. Dendy and Arzart working on that. Quantic simply not enough people. There goes the Song of the Siren, trying to slow them down. Kinetic Field as well, can pop off the illusions, but they both blink to the other side of the Ancient. What is this? I said Q Benny Hill, someone has to do that. This Ancient is going to get brought down, 500 HP, 200 HP, it is down. There's the GG, Na'Vi, 28 to 49, behind in kills, yet taking the game anyway. Such a great game, holy crap. Definitely the best game I've casted so far. And wow, Na'Vi with their slippery tactics, too much for Quantic to handle. Wow, okay. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Na'Vi vs. Quantic from the Starseries Season 3. All the games just got opened up to me, so I have a ton of games to cast now. Not anymore tonight, though, I'm afraid. But thanks for watching, guys. Wow, this game was awesome. GG. GG.